I want you to know, here's the thing. Do you want to know the $1 billion thing about influence? You can have all these strategies. People go, Harry, if you could tell me about influence in 30 seconds. I'm going to tell you. Would you like to know? When it comes to influencing people, the most important thing is making the other people feel that they were understood.
Let's welcome Harry Singha on the stage!
He's the man, he's the legend. It's a great honor to have you, Harry, here on the stage.
My pleasure. It's my pleasure. Before we start, though, I want to say something. When someone asks me, can you come and speak? Can you come and share something? They don't even get to ask me unless they're already doing great work. Does this make sense? Because I won't be able to know, because there's so many people will say, come and speak, come and speak. So I met this soul. I met all three of them. I'm going to call them S and S. Right? So it's like S and S. And I was on my anniversary with my wife in Maldives. And I'm a big believer in the world. People talk about 20%, 80%, the rule. I have a 60 and 40%. 60% is I will do planning, I will do work. But 40%, I leave it to God, I leave it to the universe. And those things, how many of you realize some of the greatest things in your life were the things you didn't plan?
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So I didn't plan on meeting these people. I was sitting there with my book or something, and my wife, my wife is English. Right? She doesn't speak Hindi, she doesn't speak Punjabi. And she's going, oh, he's a public speaker. I said, how do you know he's a public speaker? I said, he looks like he's been an influencer. She said, no, he was speaking Hindi, and then he said public speaking. And this was like, what is the chances of this happening? And then he came and met me, and he did a little, oh, you're a speaker. And he's like, and then he brings out his sister and his brother-in-law. And I was like, and we had such a full connection. I remember it, and I remember what Sanji said. I remember she put out, we met Harry Singha, he's this, but he's such a kind, loving. Now, I'm not saying that about me. I'm saying if someone sees something in me, it's because it's in them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if you say somebody is great, it's in you. And the reason it's true, because if you say something bad about them, that's in you too. So bring it back to this. When they said to me, like, do you want to come? I was like, I'm going to be in Turkey on exactly the same dates. I'm in a retreat, five-day retreat, same dates. But I was like, I want to come here. I want to see them, because we like the dates don't align. And I thought, when I do my India tour, I'll go and see them. And then suddenly it's like, Dubai. So I told the guys that I would leave on the day before, and we will get here. And trust me, the universe has put everything in my way. Plane cancelled, this. I was like committed, right? I was going to come.
Just to add, he has not slept for a few days now, and he has been working tirelessly, adding values in lives of so many people. Wow.
But I'm still good. I'm still good. Right? I'm not going to go to sleep on you. So you have to ask yourself the question, why would he do this? Because I asked him a couple of questions. They said to me, do you want to come and speak for 30 minutes, 1 hour? I said, fine, whatever. What do you want to talk about? So I said this. You tell me what is the most value I can add to your people? And you asked me those questions. And the second thing I said, how can I add value to you and your team? Because I think stakeholders, these are stakeholders.
Yeah.
Right? The hotel's a stakeholder. So I thought I could come and add value to you, but what if I could add value to them, right? All of them. Do you know what he said when I said I will give you anything? What do you think he asked for? Just think it, don't shout it out, right? Just think what he would... I said, right, he told me exactly the type of things. Let's talk about coaching, let's talk about speaking, let's help them, and do a Q&A. He said, yeah. And then I asked, what do you need? And you know what? I'm not a shy person. You know, I coach some of the top people on the planet. I'm the secret speaker coach behind them. We do all of this. So I'm saying to him, you can have anything you want from me. Here's what he said. I want these guys to succeed so badly. So that's why it took me a 10.5-hour flight just from like 3 planes to come here. And so now we better deliver, right? So it's over to you. They gave me this big intro, and you just believe them. You don't know who I am, right? They could just be joking. So let's do it. Is that okay? So remember, 60-40. 60% I will be answering. 40%, who knows who's answering, right? Got it? And listen, don't ask me questions about like what food I like. I will answer that if you want. But in life, like, you know, we have limited amount of time in this world. In the spiritual world, we do everything all in 1 second, right? So I'm going to let you guide it, but I definitely want to take questions and answers, right?
Sure.
If you're on a trainer program, and you've got a guy here who started the coaching industry in 1999 in the UK, I know a few things about it, right? But when it comes to speaking, I know a few things about it. But if you want to know how to even achieve the things that you desire, I know a thing about that too, right? So you can be thinking about your clients, or you can be thinking about yourself. Entirely up to, I'm good. I'm switched on. I'm ready. As soon as he tells me stop, I will stop. All right, go for it.
Thank you, Harry. First of all, you know, I would love to ask you, like when you say back in 1999 you started this academy, I mean, what inspired you to become a coach, and what inspired you to start something which was not common back in those days?
You know, when someone asks a question like that, my brain's thinking, I could speak for 3 hours just on that. Because, you know, when you tell someone something, you need to tell them the bit before,
Yeah.
and just a bit before,
Yeah.
and a bit before. So forgive me if I run through a whole bunch of things real quick, because you're like, you don't skip through this, but I will for you so I can answer this question, okay? So what many people don't know is I'm a child who grew up through domestic violence. My father was alcoholic. My earliest memories was my mum being attacked 4 or 5 times a week.
Oh.
That was what my life was. At 11, 12 years old, I was sleeping on the streets of central London. I wasn't homeless. I didn't think I was homeless. I just didn't want to be at home when my dad was angry and drunk. But here's where my life was. When I shut the door of my house and I went to school, this was pain. At school, let's have a party. It's like a mellow as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to school. But I used to look at the other children at school, and if they looked unhappy, my little brain would say, if everything that's happening at home, and I could come to school and be happy, what must be going on for them? I didn't know they just didn't like maths. That's why they was upset, right? And then when I was hanging out, I called it hanging out at night, but I was sleeping on the street with homeless people. I thought they had it worse than me. So I was being conditioned all the time through whoever, God, universe, whatever. Nothing wrong with me. And I just wanted to help other people. I know now that me helping other people was making me feel something, but also it saved my life because I was in so many dangerous situations. My uncle, my dad's younger brother, my chacha, tried to kill me when I was 15 years old.
Oh.
That's not the bad part. The following morning, my mum told me to leave home for my safety. That was the worst day of my life. You take a young person who's from East London. Some of you know you guessed it, I'm from London. I don't speak like the Queen's English, but East London. And I was angry. But here's what happened. I didn't want to go and live I went to go and live with another auntie. But I was so angry because I wanted to protect my mum. We never told anybody what was happening. How many of you understand that, right?
Yeah.
The shame that you would have in your family if you tell. Nobody, my sister's brother, nobody spoke about it. But now there's something wrong with me. because I'm not living at home. Social services know. The teachers, are you okay? Leave me alone. Nothing wrong with me. But here's what happened. Sometimes someone can become very destructive or constructive. Which one was I? Both. I was both. Because here's what happened. At the age of 14, I knew what the out-of-hours social worker number was. I knew what would happen to any child if they got kicked out of their house. I used to have all this information. And I used to be there for my friends. And you know which one of my friends used to have most of the problems? It was the girls. I used to know where the women's refuges are. How crazy is that? And this is what I was doing. So I'm going to speed it up. I left home at 15. I went back home when I was 18 when my father died. I was angry with him. When he died, I was still angry with him. But here's what Harry Singha was doing. I went to visit children's home with my social worker. She's like, is he mad? She thought I was crazy anyway. I said, I want to go with you. I want to see. She's like, why? Because my father used to threaten to put me in a children's home. I wanted to see what it was. I thought it'd be a holiday. 1 week before my 16th birthday, she took me to a children's home and there was 5 young people there. They were older than me. I was 15. I didn't know. And I start asking him, do you have your own bedroom? And he goes, and I thought, what did I say? I turned to one of the girls and I said, do you have your friends around? And she just looked at me like. And then I went to ask someone else, and the big boy in the room, he got up and he swore at me and he said, you're one of the lucky ones. And he saw my face change because I thought, you don't know anything about my life. How can you call me lucky? And just because I paused, he pulled the girl's sleeve up and she got cuts all over her because that's what every day she's here. All these young people in the room were not from London. They were taken from homes and they came here. And one by one, each one of them told me their stories. I thought we did about 15 minutes. 1 hour had passed because my social worker said, let's go. And all of these guys, I did the man hug, you do that with the guys, and they came there and they were like, when are you coming back? I said, 2 weeks' time, because that's when the social worker visits me. Off I went. Now, I didn't go home every day after school to my auntie's house because my school was here and on this road is where my mum lived. Lunchtime, I used to run home just to be with my mum. But after school, I used to hang out at the youth centre because I don't want to be the person living away. And my youth worker used to give me crazy things to do because I would say, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. But I was in the youth centre the day after and he called me. His name's Martin. By the way, Martin now is 67 years old and he works for me. Right? Just so you understand, right? He said, Harry, I need to speak to you. Back in those days, if someone said I need to speak to you, I think I was in trouble. How many of you know that, right? So I kept saying, am I in trouble? He said no. And he pointed to his office. It was a glass office. And my social worker is sitting in the room. And I looked at him, he said, did you go to a children's home yesterday? I said, not me. She took me. It was her fault. And he said, go up now, come to. I said, am I in trouble? He said, no. He said, what did you do? I said, nothing. Nothing. He goes, the social services manager, the care home manager, has contacted the social worker and said, when is your colleague coming back to run his next anger management workshop? What did you think I said? Am I in trouble? I said, am I in trouble? He said, no, Harry. They want to pay you. I was like, I'm going to buy a house for my mum. I'm going to buy a car. And he goes, there's one problem. I said, what for? What's the problem? He goes, what are you going to do? I said, my anger management workshop. He goes, no. He goes, Harry, you're 15. You're going to turn 16. And he goes, here's what we'll do. We will get social services to pay youth service and we'll give you expenses. I said, let's go. And the 2 weeks came, I had to go to this children's home. And they left me there. There wasn't just 5, there was about 10 of them. And they're like, he's here, he's here. They didn't think I was a young kid. They thought I was a social worker. And now they're like, do your thing. And I'm like, okay. In my head, I'm like, what am I going to do? I don't even know what anger management workshop is. I'm the angry guy. So I sit there, I was thinking, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? And I'm like saying, hi, hello, everybody. But in my head, what did I do? What did I do? And I was like, oh, you just listen to them. So I went, oh, hey guys, last time you were sharing stuff, like the people that weren't here, maybe like you just share why you're here. Because now I don't have to, like, they're talking, right? And I thought, this is good. In my head, what should I say? What should I say? And they said, can you help this one? A boy called Mickey. And Mickey's like older, but looks smaller. And I know there's children in the room, so I went to, and they're like, what's Mickey's problem? They go, Mickey wants to see his family and his girlfriend, but every time he goes, the police pick him up and bring him back, right? Which is it, this crazy world, it was, right? And I said, okay, Mickey, what do you want? Coaches? Stop thinking about this, right? Mickey, what do you want? Mickey goes, and this was it. Mickey used to call, he had a key worker called Maria, but when he spoke to Maria, he would curse at her. I know there's children. He would call her a word, a B word, you, B. And I was like, okay, Mickey, how about you go to Maria and say, Maria, could I have 2 minutes of your time today? But don't swear at her and don't call her a name. Nothing else. He goes, like as if that was strange. He went and knocked on Maria's door. He does not speak to Maria without swearing at her, at cursing her, because she represents authority. He walked in and said, he didn't say it the way we practiced it. He still, but he went in there and said, Maria, when can I have 2 minutes of your time? Maria is thinking, what happened to you? And she said, of course, straight after lunch. He just walked away. He didn't say thank you. He walked back, came back, and goes, yeah, she's going to see me. Why did we do this now? I go, because now you, in that time, you can say, maybe I can go and see my family. But please, don't call her names. The social services team, like, this guy's like a miracle worker. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I did learn. And right now, I can still tell you to this day, when it comes to working with young people, I can tell you there's two things you need to do. Number one, you need to listen to them. Number two, you have to believe in them. I didn't say believe what they're saying, because they talk a load of rubbish sometimes. They exaggerate it a little bit. Who here has ever been a young person? That's all of you. Did you exaggerate a little bit, right? So I said, listen to them and believe in them. If there is any people that want to be coaches in this room, you might want to use that as well. Everybody just big kids. My career started like that. But I want you to understand this. My youth worker, the youth service, were paying me expenses. My food, they said, go for food and bring us the expense. There's only so much McDonald's you can eat, right? And then one day Martin said to me, we have £2,000 in your pot. I said, give it to me, let's go and buy a car. He's like, no, can't do that. He goes, we're going to send you on training. I'm 16 years old, they're going to send me on training. He goes, what training? I was like, what training? We talk about training. And then they showed me, it said counselling. I said, I can go on a counselling course? He said, yeah. He goes, we've got £2,000. I was like, let's go on a counselling course. 16 years old, I went on a counselling course, residential. You go to a place called, I'm from East London, right? I go to a place in Oxford, and back then the organisation was called the Spastic Society. It's now called Scope. They work with people with disability. Yeah. But here's the thing. Oh, it's brilliant. Can I answer it for you? Ask him if they have a question for me. Okay. I turned up at this place in Oxford. It's a residential. You're going to be there for the weekend, and you do one module, and then 3 months later you go for another module, right? I turn up. I go early. I am so excited. They're going to teach counselling. All I wanted to do is help other people. I saw a chair here, and there were some notes here. I thought, this must be the teacher's chair. I'll sit here. I'm waiting. 2 women walked in. White women, about 40, 50 years old. I was like, hello. I'm a 16-year-old Indian guy. Hello. And they went, oh, hello. Another woman comes in, white woman, 15, 16 years old. And then some man walks in, looks like 100 years old with a beard. And I'm, all these people, and I go, I'm going to spend all weekend here. Oh, this is not a good idea. But they came, and then the tutor came in, Dr. John Pratt.
Can we do something about that?
It must be really, really important, though. Please, take it.
Yeah, that's better.
That's all right. You okay? Don't listen. It's all right. Remember I said, sometimes the unplanned things are the magical. I might get that ringtone. Right? So here's the thing. The tutor walked in, Dr. John Pratt. He looked like, who's seen Lord of the Rings? He looked like Gandalf.
Yeah.
But I was now mesmerized. Within that first session, I fell in love with every one of the people in the room. The things that John was teaching us. I can go and help people with this, I can do the other. By the end of the 2-3 days, they said, they went round. And John said some of them were graduating, they were getting accredited. I got so excited. They all went round and so on. And I said, John, when I come next time, will I get accredited? He said, no, you're 16 years old. Huh? When? He goes, if you want full accreditation with the British Association of Counselling and Psychotherapy, BAP. I was like, I don't know what you're saying. But he said 21. I was like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I said, that's like, to me, I thought I want to be a pensioner in 6 years' time, right? So as they were all going around, they would all say something. Every one of them commented, look at Harry, I'm glad he was here, glad he was here. And they said you could ask anybody a question and tell everybody what you're going to do. My question was, John, that was the one. Will I get accredited? He said, no. And they said, what do you want to say to him? I said, John, I want your job. And the question that anybody could ask they were asking me one question. What are you going to do with this? And I did say I'll take his job, right? But I said, if I cannot be accredited until I'm 21, I'm going to come back and do this course again next year. I did the same course for 5 years. I studied a different therapy. By the time I was 21 years old, I was the chair of the mental health service across East London. I started setting up counselling services for young people right on the doorsteps where the young people wanted it. The children that were having drugs problems didn't want to go to a drug project. The Asian girls didn't want to go to Asian Women Project. So I created a project called Talk Shop where we bring all the therapists. This is what I was doing. I was 21, 22 years old when they introduced me to Tony Robbins and all of the books, not himself. And everyone talking about this coaching thing in America. There was no life coaching training in the UK. And one of the board members of the charity I set up, she went and got a life coach. I was like, what's that? She lost a bit of weight, relationship, all this. I was like, what's a life coach? He's like, oh, what you do? I said, that doesn't make any sense. But all we had then was something called Coach U. It's an American organization, and they would send you stuff. And then a bunch of us got together, we set up the coaching academy. And that was the first thing. And on that first course, we were all students as well, and trainers, right? And then we do a dissertation. And the dissertation was, what are you going to do with coaching? How are you going to take it forward? I remember my dissertation was in the year 2000. I wrote, I'm going to take life coaching to young people, for young people. And I did that. I was training young people to become accredited life coaches in their schools, in slums in Africa, and even in India. I was training them up to do that, right? And it still works today, it still runs. So I still own the Youth Coaching Academy. I took it out of that. So that's a long way to answer how I got into coaching, but that's how I got into coaching, right?
Wow. Fascinating. Awesome.
I promise the answers will be short on the next one.
You have worked with so many coaches, and everybody can relate to the journey that, in a way, that he has got such a huge experience behind him. Here, majority of them are here to become successful coaches. They are here to become great entrepreneurs. How can they flourish in the field they are? How can they add more value?
Sure, let's do that. Now we talk about you, because you talked about me before, remember? Probably the first thing comes to mind, that the retreat that I was on just now in Turkey, they were all Arabic speaking, and it was led by like the number one Arabic speaker. And he's a client of mine, but he's like a brother to me, because I don't have to speak Arabic, and we're now impacting all the Arab world to raise the consciousness, do good. And there was this lady from Saudi Arabia, and she's with her husband. She said, I've got a bachelor's degree in this, I got this, and she's like, and I was like, I'm waiting for the question. And then she said, I'm going to become a life coach. And sometimes when someone goes, I'm going to become a life coach, my energy goes, and they go, phew. Because as she's going on, what it was telling me, she's very academic, and she studies, and now she's going to study life coach. My message to all of you is, I'll give you the answer that I gave it. My message for all of you is, if you leave here and say, I'm going to become a life coach, you have probably crippled your coaching career immediately. Because for me, I started when I was 16. I've seen the coaching industry be born, grow, collapse, come up. And it's happening with the speaking industry, the same thing. Because what started happening was, there were more coaches and coaches. I said, where are they coming from? There were so many coaching academies popping up. Even accrediting, they were just accrediting each other. That was what it was, right? I was like, this is good. All these coaches, but it wasn't good. 1,000 people were being trained as coaches, and only 2 or 3 made it. And the rest had so much shame with their family because they spent money on it. And they're like, okay, you coach now. Where's the money? And do you know what they did? With the coaching they became coaching trainers to train other people, because that's what they got. They got the education, but they couldn't implement it. And now it's the same with speaking. Thousands of people go on speaker training, and they don't make it, so they become speaker coaches. I do training like speaker training. I go and do it for free in communities like where I'm with my clients. Within 4 days, people in the audience have set up their public speaking thing with the same script of what I use. No problem. If it's good stuff, go and do it. But the point is, they haven't got the substance. So I just want you to be clear. If someone says to me, I'm going to become a life coach, I'll say, well, stop for a second. And I want you to do what I'm going to show you now, right? Because there's too many life coaches. And if you say, I'm a life coach, that's like saying, I'm a person. Right? I'm talking to Indians, where India's going to have the #1 population on the planet, right, very soon. I'm Indian. Yes, so are 1.4 billion people, right? And in business, they will tell you niche and they do this. Back in the day, in 2000, if you said I'm a life coach, it's like, whoa, really? And you would have had basic training on how to bring out the best in someone, and you'd be doing great. But right now, don't do that. And I know you're like in good hands. Because when I met all of them, it's like, and I remember I met an actor, and then he brought you, and then I said, then he said, here's his wife. What do you do? She was the only one that said, I help. Like she literally, because he was like, I think you introduced Tony Robbins of India, right? It's like, I didn't know what he did, but it's just Tony Robbins of India. So I'm not going to just say, become a health coach or do a niche. I want you to take it to a level that you're going to be world class. Who's up for that?
Yeah.
And world class, people use this word often. I want you all to just, I don't want to talk now, I want you to do. Right? Is everyone okay with that? So put your pens down. So I'm like, they're writing. This dude's ready. Right? I want you to take your left hand and open it like this. Yes, brother, I'm watching you, right? It really doesn't matter, but because I'm going to keep saying left. Right? In your left hand, if you haven't done this already, and you are with these guys, when they said, do you want to talk about stuff, I'm thinking they'd probably teach you the same stuff I teach, but I'll teach it different, right? Repetition is cool. If you hear the same lesson from me, but it's good. Because if I say something different, he says something, you're like, which one, right? So now, in this left hand, look at your left hand. And I want you to imagine that you are studying a subject. Not in the University of Gujarat, the University of Life. And this subject, I want you to tell me how you want to help people. What is it you want to do for people? How can you create that transformation? You want to work with people who are in debt and help them become financially abundant? That's one thing. You want to take people who've got trauma to emotional freedom. You want to take people from disease to health. Raise your right hand if you have an idea of what's in your left hand. Raise your hand. Have you got a subject? Yes or no? Yes or no? You see this subject? You don't have to choose this for the future, just so you know the exercise, right? I want you to turn around and go, this is my subject.
This is my subject.
I'm going to study you.
I'm going to study you.
Look at the hands. Say, I'm going to study you.
I'm going to study you.
Look at the fingers. Each one of those are different topics, subtopics, right? And then what I want you to do is this. That topic, I want you to close your hand and say, I will study you for the rest of my life.
Study for the rest of my life.
You will be my mastery.
You're my mastery.
I want you to give it a kiss. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you study this every day, you are in competition with nobody. A person who says, speaking is my thing. I'm going to show people how to go from not being able to speak to confidently speak. If they study this every day, do you think that they might get better? Do you think if they keep going that they're going to be at a standard that doesn't matter? The only person they are judging them, the actual test master, the person who's going to mark their exam is God, is the universe. Are you willing to do that? Then I want you to say one more thing. This transformation is my mastery.
Is my mastery.
Kiss this. Now I want you to understand, you never sell your products or your program. Oh, someone's repeating it. Well done. But you don't have to repeat everything I'm saying there, but it's good. But say it in your head. You will never sell your products or your program.
Yeah.
They're all still repeating. Don't keep repeating now. Because otherwise we're going to be here for a long time. We never sell our products or program. You sell the transformation.
Yeah.
Like, let's put it this way. If you say, I want to master making aloo gobi, you're laughing, right? Watch this. Is there anybody in the room that does not know how to make aloo gobi? Put your hand up. Right? Good. There's people. Dude, you know how to make aloo gobi? No. Good. Put your hand up then. Right? Now check this. If he decided, I'm going to study making aloo gobi, he goes on YouTube. Watch a video. But he's not going to watch one video. You're going to study every day. You think he's going to get good at it? No, he's going to become world class here. And he's going to get better and better and better.
Yeah.
And then when someone says, aloo gobi, I'm thinking of him. Right? This is why I say mastery. But it's the transformation. It's the transformation. But now we've got another hand, haven't we? Take the right hand. Look at your left hand again. Say, this is my transformation.
This is my transformation.
I will study you forever.
I'll study for you ever.
Take your right hand. In your right hand, whatever this transformation is, don't keep repeating. It's okay. It's good. I know it's going in. In this hand, I want you to think, who would you love to take this transformation to? Now, if you say, I want to become a coach that helps people overcome trauma and have freedom, can you take it to children? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Are you going to make a viable business out of it? Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe not. I want you to go, who would I love to take it to, but also might make it easier for my business? And I'm going to tell you what challenge most of you have. You're like, I want to take it to everybody. I want to work with women. I want to work with children. I want to work with CEOs. I want to work with this, right? Stop that. But realize you're going to still be able to do that. I want you to think, is there a community? What's the word? Is there a community that you would love to take your transformation to? Imagine it was the health one. From disease to abundance of health. I like to take that to women. Guess what happens now? If it's women, then you've got Indian women, you've got young women, you've got older women, you've got women in business, and you've all these different women, right? Close his hand and say, this is my community.
This is my community.
Now listen to me when I say it. I will study you.
I'll study you.
I will make you my mastery.
I'll make you my mastery.
How many of you realize every bit of business, and I know you'll hear it from them, you've got to know your market. Don't just know your market. Hey, I can tell you my market. It's women business owners. I want you to know their pain. I want you to know what keeps them up at night. I want you to know what they say. I want you to know. Here's the thing. Do you want to know the $1 billion thing about influence?
Yeah.
You can have all these strategies. People go, Harry, if you could tell me about influence in 30 seconds. I'm going to tell you. Would you like to know? When it comes to influencing people, the most important thing is making the other people feel that they were understood. How do you do that? You study them, study them. Why are you going to study them? Here's why. Ready for this? Left hand. So this is my transformation.
Transformation.
I will study you.
I'll study you.
This will be my mastery. This is my community. I will study you. This will be my mastery too. And then take your hand like this. Now you create your coaching program with that transformation, with these people in mind.
Wow.
And they will come to you. They will come to you. And just for those of you that are like crazy, realize if you are the world's best at making aloo gobi and you only make it for women business owners, I tell you there are men coming going, I want your aloo gobi. Because if you're a speaker, I'm a speaker coach. That's one of the things I do. I decide who I want to invest my time, energy, marketing, because I can only create my product or program for one people in mind.
Yeah.
But do you think that there are children that want speaker training? We gift it for free. Do you think that teachers want it? You can still do it, but you channel your thing. Imagine making a dish for someone. If SNS was coming to dinner at my house, my wife would say, what do they eat or not eat? She wouldn't just make something and say, here's lasagna. She needs to know. Does this make sense? And imagine she made it and she goes, oh, let me go speak to his wife. Let me see what he likes. And she tells everything. He comes for dinner. He's going to be polite. I'll eat whatever, even if I don't like it. You know, all of that kind of. And then he gets the dish and it's like, God, Harry's wife made this dish. What's he thinking? He's thinking she spoke to my wife, right? But the point is this. Can you imagine your clients feeling like you created it for them?
Yeah, agreed.
The price point, the color, the message, the title, and you are committing to this for the rest of your life. You have no question whether you're good at it. Don't become a life coach. That was the first thing I would say. Right?
Wow. Let me just translate a bit of it because it was such a beautiful metaphor. दोस्तों समझ के चलो बस ये एक हाथ है आपका सब्जेक्ट, आपका नीश. उस सब्जेक्ट को मास्टरी ले लो, चाहे वो किताबों से हो सकता है, सेमिनार वर्कशॉप से हो सकता है, प्रैक्टिस करने से हो सकता है, इन वॉट एवर वे यू कैन. जस्ट मास्टर दैट सब्जेक्ट एंड कमिट कि आप पूरी जिंदगी उसे पढ़ने वाले हैं. Second was your community, your target audience, या जिन्हें आप फोकस कर रहे हैं, जिन्हें आप सर्व करना चाहते हैं, पीपल यू वांट टू सर्व, राइट? एंड उस ऑडियंस को सिर्फ टारगेट नहीं बनाना है, उस ऑडियंस को समझना है, उसके दर्द को समझना है, उसके प्रॉब्लम्स को समझना है, उसे क्या परेशान कर रहा है, उसे आप कैसे हेल्प कर सकते हैं, हर एक चीज को समझना है। और जब ये दो चीजों को कंबाइन कर लिया जाएगा, दैट्स वेयर यू हैव योर परफेक्ट कोचिंग प्रोग्राम रेडी। और साथ ही साथ एक बहुत अमेजिंग एग्जाम्पल उन्होंने ऐड किया कि सपोज कि मैं और शिवांगी आपके घर आने वाले हैं, आप हमें बहुत प्यार करते हैं, यू लव अस, यू वांट टू सर्व अस, बट दो चीजें हैं। एक, आपके वाइफ जो चीज सबसे अच्छी बना सकते हैं, और साथ ही साथ हमें क्या पसंद है, अगर ये दोनों कंबाइन हो जाए तो कैसा होगा? गेटिंग द आइडिया? तो वहां के मैं भी परेशान हो जाऊंगा, यार भिंडी कैसे बन गई आज, दिस इज माई फेवरेट, एंड सेकेंडली शी इज बेस्ट एट इट। अगर ये दोनों कंबाइन हो गया तो, एंड दैट्स व्हाट कोचिंग प्रोग्राम इज ऑल अबाउट। या beautiful.
And then for speakers, so you now get it. Instead of you going, I have something to teach, what if your goal and your intention was, I am going to make a dish for them that is their favorite dish. And when they leave, it's like, and the only way you make it their favorite dish, you have to know them. You can't make the dish for everybody. How many of you, when you have a favorite restaurant, you keep going back there? Why?
Yeah.
Because your favorite dish, not the favorite restaurant. And if you could just have that, I am going to cook it with so much pyar. And I'm going to put, as a gift, when you give a gift, if I buy you something like, and I go, here's a present. Here's a present. I bought it from Turkey. Here you go. But if it's a gift, I'm going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a bow on it. I'm going to put it in a bag, and I'm going to, here, mate, there's a gift. Even how I hand it to him.
Yes.
I tell you what, 60% of your program is all about the experience. All about the experience. Right? Because at the end of the day, they only want to go, this is where we can lead into. There's what stops your clients from actually getting results. Who'd like to know that as well, right?
Yeah.
Why your clients are not getting results. Who'd like to know that real
Yes.
quick? Yeah? Okay, it's the same reason why you're not getting the results you want. You. Your clients could achieve everything they want, right? They go, I need to get some education. Education, you do realize you can go to my cousin called Google Sing. And if you can't find anything on Google Sing, you go to my other cousin, YouTube Core. And all the information you need, and now you can just do Chat GPT. The world of experts is dead. People spending tens of thousands on coding and 3 years studying it.
Yeah.
And one kid can type in Chat GPT, give me the code for a PowerPoint presentation that is on this, and within seconds they get the code, they point at the site, and you've got a PowerPoint presentation that is better than everybody else's. So it ain't about expert anymore. You want information, it's there. I'm just saying to you, make it their favorite dish.
Yeah.
Make it as speakers as well, definitely. But I told you what gets in the way. What gets in the way is you. And I honed it down to one word. And many other words people could say. And this is your responsibility. You're being trained by these guys who, India's finest, and then they bring you out to Dubai as well, right? But here's why. I told you right at the beginning. The guy cares about you. That's one of their selling points. But they don't sell it, just do it. It's who they are. But here's the thing that's going to get in your way and your clients. Their excuses. As a coach, you must be doing everything you can to find those blind spots, to take away the excuses. My clients, why do they achieve so much? Because I find out, what do they call the highest energy? Do they call it God? Do they call it Allah? Do they call it love? Do they call it, whatever they want to call it? If you believe that there's a higher force, I will take you to wherever you want to go. Why? Because that force is in you. And in the moment you say, I can't, you're slapping the face of your creator, whoever you call God, or whatever energy. And by the way, I gave the name to the highest energy when I was training kids in India doing personal development. I said to them, as Indians, when we go to our auntie's house, we have to say, Auntie Ji, Uncle Ji, Nani Ji, Baba Ji. And I ask them, well, who's the most important Ji? And they go, Mummy Ji. I said, no. Energy. Right? But trust me, I elevated that because I then spell energy with an E-N-E-R with a J-I. And I want you to say, when I say the word energy, the highest energy within you, G means respect. When you start making excuses, you are disrespecting your highest energy.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, what is in your way is the moment you go, I can't do this, I don't know this, I'm a woman, I'm a man, I'm Indian, my accent is like this, boom, you're dead. Somebody else is going to come along with less of a program, less of a beautiful dish, but it was you that just said, I can't do this. There is nothing you can't do. Technology is catching up. Oh, by the way, you hear it from me. AI. Everyone heard of AI? You do realize UI was already here. Always was, always will be. Universal intelligence. If you was to ask a question, one of them asked me the question, I was doing like this panel of these guys, super top business owners. He said, Harry, if you had 30 seconds and you could just tell a speaker how to become a great speaker and they were nervous, what would you say? And he was like that. And I said, you start the clock. Right? And the guy said, start the clock. I said, and because they're Arabic, I said, what would God say? Sorry, what would God do? And I went, stop the clock. Because I've still got 27 seconds left, right? Because to them, it's like, if you're ever in a situation, you say, what would God do? Where are you going to get the answer from? You don't have to go to ChatGPT. You have to come back to yourself and realize if you have come from that place, it's in you, answers are there. 60%, 40%. Stop being like everybody's taught you. You have to hustle, 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 hustle. You have to fix it. Do you want to know what the problem is in the personal development world? Tony Robbins, I love the guy. I spent 28 years with him. But that industry, I want you to understand there's a world full of people who are in victim mentality. My husband did this, my wife did this, the government did this, the did this. I was that. Look what my dad did, it's alcohol, this, that. This is what we call when everything happens to us. Everyone understand that? Personal development comes along and says, don't be victim. It happens by us. How many of you are there like, I will take care of it? How many of you? I'm responsible, yeah? You don't want to do that anymore. This is why you got burnout in the corporate. I'll fix it. Better than victim. But guess what? Victim people don't commit suicide because they're blaming other people. If you have a problem and it's your problem and you can't fix it, what's happening? Then you set goals. This is where the coaching is. Where do you want to be? Where are you? That's a gap. Oh, we close the gap. What happens if the gap doesn't close? And you're a coach? Stress. Overwhelm. It's not working. This gap, I just need you to understand. You're like, I'll fix it. I'll fix it. This is by me. So I'm responsible for it, which makes sense. But you know there's another level of consciousness? It happens for me. They were asking me, Harry, you delayed one flight. You go, yeah, it's for me. There's a message somewhere there, right? But the moment you think for me, there's nothing for you to change. The only thing is, what's the lesson that I'm not learning? Is there a lesson here? I don't know. Well, you're going to keep having the same thing, but you don't have to keep doing push for 100%. Do 60 and let something else do the work. Like if you speak with health, she doesn't say go to health and do this. She says let your body do its work.
Yes.
Stop interfering. You want to know what to do as parents? Try non-interference parenting. Instead of telling the child, come and eat your dinner, come and eat your dinner. Say, listen, come and eat when you're hungry. I guarantee you that. Oh, I'm hungry soon. They're just going to come without the stress. But here's the thing, just on that level, happens to me, by me, for me. It's beautiful. What happens if you realize something happens through you?
Whoa.
Right. You could clap, but you know what? There's another one. Honestly, the more consciousness you get, what if it happens as you? And that's what your energy is. When you become one, that's oneness, right? So you can look at anything that happens in life. Your clients can have a look at that as well. Oh, I was struggling with this. I can't get my coaching clients. Why not? Oh, because the website. Oh, it is. Oh, I haven't even, whatever. You could turn around and go, it's by me, I'll fix it. How many of you started creating your own websites, even though you're not a website designer? It's like, start doing it, fix it, fix it. What if you said this challenge right now is just for me? And life, I think you've probably heard this. In school, we learn the lessons, and then we take a test. In life, you get the test, and then you learn the lessons, right? But I'm telling you right now, you will keep having that test until you've got the lesson. Why? Because it's for you. But the most beautiful thing is when it comes through you, meaning you're having a challenge that is there to help other people, you now get fulfillment. If you can just have that mindset, and we were talking about breath work, people doing all of these things. So many things exist now. You must connect with your client at their soul. And you must connect with yourself at your soul. I just call it energy. It's good because we're Indians, we say that. But I don't know how we got there. But I think it's just, hopefully that was of value, right?
Wow. So, if I can simply translate that, guys, अपने आप को ये कहने की जरूरत नहीं है कि मैं ये नहीं कर सकता, मैं वो नहीं कर सकता, बिकॉज आप भगवान में, अल्लाह में, जिनमें भी मानते हैं, आपका ये कहना मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता एक तरीके से उनको अपोज करने के बराबर है. बिकॉज अगर हम वहां से आए हैं तो एक उसका हिस्सा हमारे अंदर मौजूद है, वी आर अ पार्ट, राइट? और अगर वो एक छोटा सा अंश उसका हमारे अंदर मौजूद है तो एवरीथिंग इज पॉसिबल फॉर अस. सेकेंडली, ये मत सोचो कि जिंदगी मेरे खिलाफ हो रही है. जिंदगी में जो हो रहा है कहीं ना कहीं वो मेरी वजह से हो रहा है. उसके बाद का स्टेज है वो मेरे लिए हो रहा है, और एक स्टेज है और वो होगा कि इट इज थ्रू मी, एंड अल्टीमेटली the highest could be कि it is happening in me. It's the oneness. उसे शब्दों में रखना मेरे लिए भी बहुत मुश्किल है. Because it's about understanding the meaning behind it. As you can understand, everything is energy. सब कुछ एक ऊर्जा है, सब कुछ एक एनर्जी है, और हम उस एनर्जी का एक हिस्सा है. आप भी एनर्जी है, मैं भी एनर्जी हूं, मेरी आवाज भी एनर्जी है, हमारे बीच की खाली जगह भी एनर्जी है. So stop blaming. Stop complaining, stop criticizing. और जो भी हो रहा है उसे एक्सेप्ट करके स्टार्ट एक्सपीरियंसिंग कि उसमें से क्या सीखने को मिल रहा है हमारी जिंदगी में, एंड हाउ वी कैन इवॉल्व आउट ऑफ दैट, राइट? आई एम नॉट श्योर इफ आई हैव ट्रांसलेटेड दैट वेल इनफ.
No, you did. I understood it. I can give you like the real life example of it. You take a small child who sees his father attacking his mum. And I was attacked by my dad. All this was happening to me.
Right.
Then I'm like, I'm going to fix this because I'm now a coach in the personal development world. I will deal with my own trauma. I'll fix this. I'll keep busy. But then you get to for me. How could it happen for me? What's the message? What's the gift? I would never raise my hand to my wife. That's one gift. But when you say for me, I only had 3 questions. One was, why did my dad do what he did? Why did my mum respond the way she responded? Because my mum used to tell me off when I stopped. And why did it happen to me? In the personal world, you learn that no matter what happens, you can choose the meaning. I was like, why didn't they tell me this before I went for all this therapy training? Right? So I said, I can choose the meaning. This is all the same part of the consciousness. So I can choose why my father did what he did. Huh? Okay. My father did what he did, so I would go and learn why people do what they do.
Wow.
Right? Now check this. The one that got me, why did my mum do what she did? Because when I stopped or intervened and helped my mum, she was the one that said, go to your room. I couldn't understand this. Couldn't understand it. So then I said, I can choose the answer. Why did my mum do it? I couldn't come with an answer. My brain was, just choose one, just choose one. So I wrote, my mum did what she did to teach me unconditional love. And I thought I liked that. My brain's going, that's lie. I said, but I can choose. So I wrote it. You know the third question I had? Why did this happen to me? No hesitation. I took the first two answers and said, everything happened to me, so I would go and find out why people do what they do. And I only had one question in my head over and over again, and I'm not going to swear because there's children. It was WTF is going on? That's all I was asking. So my thing was this. I wrote it down. Everything that happened to me was so I will find out why people do what they do and then take it to other young people who are asking WTF is going on, and I will do it from a place of unconditional love.
Wow.
That's what happens when you say for me. So I was like, but do you realize that was also now through me? Because that's how I created the Youth Coaching Academy, and everything came for it. Because here's the thing, we can take the things that happen to us and we can survive. And that's when you say it's for me, so I can do this for me. But when you can take it, turn it into a gift for others, life takes on new meaning, right? But that's when it's like, too many of us are trying to cut it off like it's a bad thing. I still feel pain when I talk about things, because that's real. But there's no more suffering. I would not give up that day that I left home at 15. Why? Had I not, because there's a thing I call positive blaming. If I hadn't left home at 15, I would never met this lady who I now call my wife. Had I not left home at 15, I would never have created all the things I did. Had I not left home at 15, I wouldn't be sitting there talking to you right now.
Yeah.
And every day is a gift, every day is a blessing. But I could have used to blame it, but now it's a positive thing. So don't get rid of your stuff. Take the message, and when you've got the message for yourself, then find out how you can do it. Because then, when you said, as me, I want you to understand that, shall I give the whole HO? Because I'm like, tell me what time it is, because I could say something for 5 minutes, or I could say it for 60 seconds. You do the 5-minute one?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. I just want you to understand is I took all of these things that I've just said to you, and I'm creating a program for young people, a 10-year program. No one has ever done where you take young people on a program and you track them, support them, take them through it. I create young people's programs. Why? I want young people to create CFI projects, doing good. And that's what I do. But then I said, I want to teach them this. And it will link to what I wanted to say to you guys. There's law of attraction coaches, there's all of this. And I say to people, if you really want to get everything you desire, you don't have to do the buy me, is one thing. But I want to give you the faster version. You do realize there's something that exists in our world that if you want something, you can get it straight away. It's called Amazon. Am I right? You could go and you get your phone. I want some red socks. Found it. Click one button. It's coming. Yes? Yes or no? Yes. But if I click it, where are they going to deliver it to? My home address. Some of you are like, yeah, but you can change the address now. Yeah? You can put another address. Let me ask you a question. What happens if I'm not at home or at the place where I've put the second home? What would happen? Tell me what happens if I'm not home. Yeah, it used to be return to sender. Amazon don't do that because they're constantly fulfilling people's desires. And they send it straight, they send it within a few days, unless you're a prime manifester, right? And it comes really fast. But if you're not, I don't care how good you are at manifesting, if you're not at home, you said they're going to leave it, or leave it with your neighbor. Yeah. I need you to understand there is a store that is far more powerful than Amazon. It's called the universe. And wait, this guy's, I'm not, you can clap when I finish this, right? If you want anything, do you think this thing doesn't already know what you want? So you don't, this is what I'm saying, it already knows. But it's the thing that you put most energy in.
Yeah.
Right? It's where you're putting your most energy and going, oh yeah, that lady, she's thinking this and she must want this. But here's the thing. You can put your order out. You can get really smart, be specific, and get very clarity on what you want to achieve. But here's the thing. You send it out. What if you're not at home? Trust me, it ain't going back to sender with this one. Far too busy creating stuff or things that people want. Guess where they're going to leave it? With someone very near you, and they're going to receive the gift because they wanted that gift as well, but they were at home. And you're going to start seeing other people having these things you wanted to manifest. And you're like, hi, why are they doing this? And you see it everywhere. I wanted it. Why are these people next to me having it? Because you're not at home. So the real question is, how do you be home? Would you like to know how to be home? H-O-M-E. You don't have to create anything. Creation's already been created. You just need to know which part of creation you're going to experience. But we talk in the world of coaching values, values, values. And I started reading all these books from 5,000 years ago, Tao Te Ching and all of these things about energy. And then I realized I lived my life without knowing by one virtue. Serve others, expect nothing back in return. The world's number one event company, I helped them become number one by just giving what they needed. I'm here today. I asked this guy not for a single penny or rupee. I invest in relationships. I'm conditioned to serve, expect nothing in return, because the universe will bring it to me. Right? Well, what do you ask from the force that can give you anything? Let's just hold that for a second. What would you ask from the force that can provide you anything? And you know what people are telling me? More clients, the beach house, which is fine. What do I ask from the force that can give me anything? I ask, what do you want? What can I do for you? Because I can guarantee you they're going to come and take care of me because I don't have to tell them. But now let's look at this. How do you stay at home? How does God or the universe, what does it do? Through nature. You have to go back to your nature. Not yours. Everybody has the same nature. Do less, like just the same way. If you want your body to heal, get out of the way. Stop pumping it with all nonsense and let it heal. So I want to manifest things. Well, get out of the way. And let the universe do the work. You have to go back to your nature. Do you know what your nature is? These 4 things, and they're called virtues. I realized I had one. These 4 virtues, this, H is this. This is how I live my life. People are like, how do you manifest this stuff? I go, I don't hustle. I've got to pay the bills. I've got to do stuff because that's what this is about. But here it is. H, for me, is honor and love unconditionally all other living things, including self. If I live like that, I'm at home, ready not just for Amazon, but for the universe. Notice the things I'm telling you are not going to be hard work. For some of you, it might be hard work to get back to your nature. But it isn't like I've got to go and get a business plan, I've got to get accreditation. How many of you from now, today, could just say, I'm going to have a little bit more attention and have some unconditional love and respect for all living things, like the plants, like the animals. I'm not saying become vegetarian, just start doing that little bit. You're at home, right? Second one, O. That's the one I had. Others are called O, others. Do things for others and expect nothing back in return. I'm not saying do it for everybody, but just make giving your lifestyle consistently and authentically. If you do that, you're at home. M, I call it manners. Manners simply means communicate with other people from a place of compassion and kindness, even if they're unkind to you. Especially if they're unkind to you. Do you know what this is what led to me saying it. If you are a kind person and someone's unkind to you, what are you going to be? Kind.
Yeah.
Because it's who you are. As you. You go and insult a tree is going to be a tree. You can insult the sun, but the sun will never ever say to you, you owe me for the light I'm giving you, the warmth I'm giving you. It just is the sun. So when I say, it was hard for me. And I'm talking, this is where you can't have violent thoughts, you can't have this, but you can do one step and you'll be at home. So this thing you want, you will be at home. You don't have to realize you're not creating anything, it's already there. You're just not home when the delivery comes. And then the last one, guess what E stands for? Energy, right? And this is the one about being true to who you are. Just like Sneh said, when you're like, I can't do this, you're being dishonest with yourself. You just have to say, what would energy do? What would God do? And if you're operating like that, when you say, I want more clients and stuff, you'll realize those things aren't the things you're going to want anymore. If you're going to ask for one thing, ask for you to go back to nature. Ask to go back home. Live a life of virtues, and it's a bit like you going, let my body heal itself. Let the unit just flow. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Make sense is one thing. Are you going to do it? Because if you don't, you're going to carry on watching other people get those things that you're like constantly meditating on and manifesting. And this is the thing. It doesn't have to be hard work. I'll finish with this. I was in Dubai. I was in Dubai a few weeks back, and I had sciatica. And I was writing stuff in my book about that same concept about if you want something so bad, go and give it, want it for others more. Because that's what, but then go out and do something for one or two people, expect nothing in return. So I was like, what's wrong with my back? And I'm a very people go and have physiotherapy, go and do this, and it'll take you 5 weeks. I'm like, my body is energy. She's loving it at the back, I know she is, right? My body is energy. So if I've got sciatica or a pain in my leg, what does that mean energetically? I can ask Google. I can just, what does it mean? Right? And then look at Google as well. And you know what it will say? There's issues of support. Because that's what our back is. So I'm thinking in my life, where do I need issues of support? And I'm thinking this big youth program, right? 150 kids from 5 continents. It's the amount of team that we have to bring in. So I need to get the one person on a 10-year contract who's going to project manage. As business people, we can't run everything, right? I need this person, I need the strategic partners and so on. So I'm writing this. I've got a pain in my back. Okay? Go and give people from across 5 continents something and ask for nothing in return. I woke up in the morning and go, I am going to help 100 people to create impact and income as a world-class speaker, and I'm going to serve you for 12 months, all 100 of you. You get my program, I'll look after you, and I'm not going to ask you for a penny. Bang, put it out. 10 minutes later, go, oh, what have I done? I just killed the whole marketing strategy that was going out for that same program. And I said to my team, don't worry. It's all right. In my head, going, oh no, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? And you know what happened? My back was fine the next day. Right? The checklist, because this is what I'm saying is, I didn't want anything from them. I wanted it back from the universe. Guess what happened? I signed the contract with a lady who's head of training for Microsoft for 3 years to come out and run this project. The number one person I wanted. I just had the call with her, bang, done. You know the people that signed up for this free program? These are people who are top players across the continents. I'm like, why didn't you just pay me? I'll come and do it, right? We could have done this. They were like, no, I want to work with you. I trust you. I trust you. I trust. And now I've got 100 people, 20 across the 5 continents. Do you think I've got people now that can go out and do it? Well, what happened? The universe came back and said, all right, you did that. Here's this. So I just want you to understand, it's not magic, it's magical. But you've got to be home. So if anyone says, how comes Harry's manifesting stuff? Because he's at home. They go, he travels a lot. I'm still at home. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Wow. Amazing insights, and I believe we went very much deeper. और आज कुछ ऐसे realizations हमने किए हैं कि जो हमें सिर्फ एक कोच नहीं बना रहा है, बट एक बहुत अच्छे इंसान बना रहा है. या एंड हमें ये भी रियलाइज करवा रहा है दैट वी आर पार्ट ऑफ अ हायर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. एंड इफ वी फोकस ऑन सर्विंग दैट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, तो प्रोबेबली हमें हमारे ऊपर फोकस करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. एंड नेचर गिव्स बैक, राइट? इसलिए मैं हमेशा ये कहता हूं कि कुदरत देती नहीं है, कुदरत हमेशा लौटाती है. Wow, Harry, I mean, just amazing. The way you have presented it, it's like, reading is different, listening is different, but it's like you know it. And you are transferring that. That's what I personally felt.
I should become a speaker.
Wow. Let's have a big, big, big round of applause. Wow.